This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legend. Join us as we take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello and welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast, where we talk about Star Wars Canon versus Legends. I am one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup.
And I'm your other host, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria.
Yeah, and so we are here for it's not called a character deep dive on this podcast, but that's what we're doing. We're here to talk about a very beloved Jedi Master from the SWTOR era. I think one of the few Star Wars characters who has a mother-daughter voiced by the same voice actor.
Wait,
It might be the only. Well, yeah, because Jennifer Hale.
Does she voice Satele?
She does, and she voices Bastilla Shan too. I'm pretty sure. I mean, someone can double check me with that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. You know what? That's what the internet is for. I'm gonna fact check this.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Should have been prepared for. Nope. Yep. Jennifer Hale.
Yep. Jennifer Hale, and she does this. Yep.
Wow.
In Star Wars Old Republic, her descendant Satele Shan.
Yep.
Same.
And it's not mother-daughter. Thanks, Kodojo. It's great. She's Bastilla's great-great-great-granddaughter. There's like 3 or 4 greats in there.
Yes, you are correct. I get confused sometimes because I want it to be that, but you are correct. It is much
want
farther.
it to be that. Yeah. No, Bastilla didn't have a daughter. Bastilla, I think Revan and Bastilla had a son, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and I can't remember if he was force. I know Theron Shan is not force sensitive.
Yeah,
or he's like minor force sensitive, but
he's minor force sensitive. He can't use the force like a Jedi, but he's force resistant, and he uses that to his advantage of being like, a spy for the Republic. But
yeah,
we are here to talk about Satele Shan, a beloved Grandmaster of the Jedi Order during the Old Republic era, as Austin said earlier. So, starting off with her early life, Satele Shan was born in the year 3699 BBY to human Jedi Knight Talasi Shan, who was descendant of the legendary Jedi Revan and Bastilla Shan. Born on Brental 4, Shan was recruited into the Jedi Order just like her mother, though Tasali was the subject of a political controversy not long after her daughter's birth. Shan's controversial belief that one could draw strength from attachment alarmed the Galactic Republic, which feared that she could fall to the dark side of the Force like her famous ancestor, Revan. Yeah, I mean, Revan, though, fell to the dark side through different means, not through emotions and attachments. He fell through because he was manipulated by the Emperor, as we went over on our Vitiate episodes. So, but the Jedi Order is the Jedi Order and always thinks of this thing of attachment. So the Republic pressured the Order into exiling Talassi to an uninhabited planet in the Outer Rim territories. When the political controversy eventually died down, the Order attempted to retrieve the Jedi Knight, but Talassi was nowhere to be found. The only thing the Order could locate in Talassi's abandoned dwelling was a series of journals written to Satele, which is to be delivered to the missing Jedi's daughter. Anticipated or appreciated, or I can't talk. Apprenticed to Jedi Master Nagini Zoe, Shan studied the ways of the Force as a Padawan until 3681 BBY, when she traveled to the Republic Space Station orbit of the Sith homeworld of Korriban to study under the Order's Battlemaster Ko-Sin Darach, which is the Zabrak Jedi Master that we see in the SWTOR cinematic trailers, which that fight with him and Bastilla against Malgus and his master was awesome.
Yeah. It was a strong opening. It's really interesting to me that two of the big openings start with Malgus fighting a Jedi Master and that Jedi Master dying in the end.
Yes. Yeah. I was trying to think, does he die? He does die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So under Darach's tutelage, Shan learned how to wield and fight with a blue double-bladed lightsaber and was constructed for herself. He also guided the Padawan through some of the Jedi trials, though her ascension to knighthood was not completed by the end of that year. The reconstituted Sith Empire soon began attacking the edges of the Republic, instigating the Great Galactic War. Not long into Shan's stay, she and her master were alerted to the landing of an unidentified freighter on the surface of Korriban by the space station's crew. Shan and Darach traveled to the surface along with the Corporal Jace Malcolm of the Republic Special Forces divisions, and were able to capture a smuggler captain named Nico Okar. Though they failed to capture Farrell Wicks, the infamous grave robber from who Okar was attempting to purchase Sith artifacts, impounding Okar's ship, an XS Stocklight freighter named Red Shifter, the three brought the smuggler back to the space station and were in the process of escorting Okar to his cell along with another trooper when Shan was overcome with an intense feeling of pain and dread in the Force. And this is obviously starting into the cinematic trailer. Outside the station's viewports, an armada of over 30 Haro-class dreadnoughts jumped out of hyperspace into the Horusset system. Darach immediately recognized that the attackers were Sith and that the outpost would not withstand an attack, so he quickly decided that their priority had to be warning the Republic of the Sith Empire attack. When Malcolm warned Darach that they would unable to outrun the Sith starfighters, Okar surprised the Jedi and the soldiers, reminding them of the ship's speed. Darach, Shan, Okar, Malcolm, and the other trooper immediately made their way to the hangar where the Red Shifter was docked, fighting off attacks by Imperial boarding parties in the process. And I love this because Okar, Nico, is like dual wielding two hand cannon blasters, taking down Sith troopers. It's great. I love this. It's fantastic. And Dojo, I do agree, ads for the SWTOR were better than modern shows. The cinematics, the storytelling, yeah. Sadly, it is Legends, I will say. But the animation, the fighting was peak. I love that stuff. It was great. So, Shan and Darach dealt with the Imperials who had entered the hangar while Okar, Malcolm, and the other trooper defended their pursuers. The soldier was killed in the fighting. As the remaining four prepared to take the Red Shifter, an Imperial interceptor landed in the hangar, and Darach ordered the smuggler to ready the ship. While Malcolm and Okar prepared the ship, Shan and her master engaged the two Sith arrivals, a masked Sith Inquisitor named Vindition, and his human apprentice, Malgus. So this is our first introduction to Malgus as a character in the CGI cinematic trailers. And his master, who also does not last long. The two apprentices battle each other for their masters as the masters fought, but when Malgus ultimately knocked Shan to the floor, Darach stopped Malgus from killing Shan with a toss of his lightsaber, giving her time to recover, summon her lightsaber back to her hands. Shan tried to jump over her master's aid, but Benediction stopped her with a blast of lightning. Darach threw his opponent across the hangar with the force and rushed his apprentice's side, and the red shifters attempt to lift off cause Benediction to blast the ship with lightning as well. Yeah, he's Benediction is a very short-lived Sith master, or Sith Darth, and I don't know, I don't know what he was trying to do there with the whole lightning to the ship, because in the trailer it doesn't really do anything.
Right.
At Darth's urging, Shan left her master behind and boarded the red shifter as she could warn the Republic of the Empire return, and then she gave the battle master her lightsaber as a parting gift before leaping aboard the smuggler's vessel with Malcolm's help. Okar urged both Malcolm and Shan to man the red shifter's guns, and the Padawan took the lower emplacement as the smuggler began to weave through the Ashes of Kor asteroid belt to escape the pursuing Mark IV or Mark VI Supremacy class starfighters. However, as they were leaving the belt, Shan felt the death of her master at the hands of Malgus. Shan was able to push aside her grief as Okar strafted the superstructure of a Horror class dreadnought, continuing the fire on the pursuing fighters until the red shifter jumped into hyperspace. So, yeah, that's essentially the cinematic trailer I went over, and my gosh, go watch it because it's so good. The SWTOR stuff is just so good. Do you have anything to add, Austin?
Yeah, it just really is, the SWTOR stuff is just really good, and I think it really captures the essence of what the Old Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic attempted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And this more grandiose golden age of the Jedi Order. And I think that's really what it's trying to get to. And we've only ever seen the Jedi in decline,
Right. Yeah.
And during SWTOR, the Jedi, while they're at war, they're more in this full swing. And we really see that with Satele and a lot of this stuff. And they really represent that. They're bold, they do things, they experiment with the Force, they train to fight, they train to do all of these incredible things because they're at a place of where knowledge is easily accessible and everything is ready to go in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean we see in the SWTOR trailers that this is a Jedi Order that, has their stuff together. They are in the thousands, and they're not in a decline. They are in their peak era. I mean, compared to KOTOR 1 and 2, where, in KOTOR 1, yes, the Jedi Order was around, and it was, still sprawling. Where when you get to KOTOR 2, which is, 5 years after the events of KOTOR 1, it's almost non-existent. So, and then you see jumped another 300 years where the Jedi Order is back to where it used to be, thousands and thousands of different Jedi Padawans, Knights, Masters, and all that. And including the Sith. The Sith are at their peak as well with, thousands of them with thousands of Jedi. So you see both organizations at their peak during this, and it's just really cool to see where the KOTOR and SWTOR go to compared to what we normally see in the films, which is the decline of the Jedi. You see the slow like what's the word I'm looking for? Extinction almost to the order.
Yeah, I think that's an active. I think that's a really good way to like put that in that like, yeah, this is the extinction of this order.
Mm-hmm. Where in SWTOR is like it's the height of the order where everything's great. And if you haven't played SWTOR, go play SWTOR because it's great. Especially the Jedi Knight storyline. That's always been my favorite. It will always be dear to my heart when I play that game. And you really feel like you are a Jedi. You have your own master. You have your own Padawan. It's great. It's awesome. But with that, let's take a early quick mid break, and we will be right back with more Satele Shan.
All right, let's do it.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. Zero tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
So, welcome to the middle of the show where we take time to thank our patrons. And so, thank you to all of our patrons who support us and do all that. If you'd like to do that, you can do that at Holocron Histories or patreon.com/Holocron Histories and sign up there. You can also go to Spotify or Apple and leave us comments or reviews. And if you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we will read it out on a future episode of the show. Ben, do we have any comments to read today or reviews?
Not today.
All right. Well, if you have been waiting in that moment to be like, hey, you know, I really want to say this, but I don't know. Like, yeah, leave us a positive review because it's really helpful to let people know that you enjoy this show and that there are people who do enjoy this show. And it helps people get a gauge of what they're expecting. So it really does help the show if you do that. Lastly, or not lastly, but you can come hang out with us on Discord. And you can do that at the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord or the Cups Podcasting and More Discord or the Robots Radio Discord or some other Discord. I don't know. There's a lot. You can do
we're in a lot of
whatever you want.
Discords.
Other than that, I think that you can catch us live at twitch.tv/Ben of Temeria. You can catch us live there and hang out with us in the show and chat with us while we are doing the episode. It's a great time to come hang out and do all of that. And then the last thing I have to say is that I did finish Star Wars Outlaws last week, the main story, doing all the things. And I gave a pretty solid review in the Cups Podcasting Discord on everything. But I would rate this game probably at a solid 6.5 out of 10. There are definitely some issues. There are some like progression and grindy issues with this game. But I will preface this by I was playing on a Series X with a pretty standard 4K TV, and I was playing on quality mode, and I was not playing on the widescreen cinematic graphic settings, and I had pretty stable 40 to 45 FPS. I don't think I ever quite got to that 60 mark, but I pretty much expect not to be able to do that with most new games right out the box.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I would say I'd give it a probably around the same 7 out of 10. It's a fun game. Now, I do know the devs have come out and said that they know the game's not perfect. They know there's issues, and they did say they are putting it out there that they are going to fix it. I know there was one major thing with if you get caught during one of those stealth missions, it's like a complete game over kind of a thing. That is something they're going to fix and patch out to where it's not going to be like that. I do know they have come out and said that. And, you know, they have 2 expansions coming out. With those expansions, I'm sure they're going to do updates beforehand to enhance gameplay, streamline it a bit, hopefully make the blaster combat a little bit more refined by then.
Yeah, I think here's my thing about the blaster combat is like this is a lot of complaints.
Let me hold the blaster when I go up a ladder, like in E11 or the E. I can't remember what the sniper rifle's modification number is.
So I have found that my experience in Assassin's Creed, treating this game like AC2 made this a lot easier. Not even that. Treating this game like Assassin's Creed Unity actually is what made me get better at this combat, which was that I am not going to go in guns blazing. This isn't Battlefront 2 where you can just charge into the stormtroopers and in 5 seconds have them all down. Kay is not a soldier. She is a smuggler. She is a slicer. She is meant to be these things. And I go back to this of like, there's a lot of people who say that Sekiro, The Shadows Die Twice, is the hardest of the From Software games. And I will agree that it is difficult because it breaks the mold of the let me spam dodge and heavy attack.
Right. Yeah.
And because with Sekiro, you have to understand the mechanics and the blocking mechanics of the game and the perfect parry system. And I think it comes down to this. You have to understand the ability of using your stun.
Right.
I think one of the things is the recharge on the stun is too slow.
Yeah, it's way too slow. It should be a lot faster than what it was.
There are some abilities that help you do that. Like there's one ability that every time you do a stealth takedown, you get about half your stun charge back.
Okay.
Which is, and like the focus ability with that kind of Red Dead Redemption kind of eagle eye focus ability that we saw in the the marketing, we saw that ability, and using that I think is great on foot. On speeder, it is very, very clunky.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think I come down to this, like with Sekiro, when you found out that like everyone started playing that game like you're a samurai, you're not. You're a shinobi, which is different than a samurai.
Yes.
Which means a shinobi does not go in, swords drawn, let me tank everything. A shinobi is stealthy. This game is meant to be stealth, and I do have to like, this is a little bit me being a little antagonistic, but this game was made by Ubisoft. What did you all expect?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It was made by the guys who made The Division and the company head running Assassin's Creed.
Right. Like, and it's not even Assassin's Creed. Like, if you go into the Tom Clancy games, the other Tom Clancy games, like, they're also
stealth-based. Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. The only ones I would say that's an outlier would be Division and Siege, obviously, being Siege being a PvP game, and Division being, an MMO style of a game.
Right.
Now, Outlaws is developed by the guys of Massive Entertainment, which is the devs of the MMO version of Division. They're the devs of Division. But it's also, Ubisoft. So obviously we knew it was going to be stealth somewhat.
And my whole thing about this is that is this game going to be Game of the Year? No.
No.
Is it even a contender for Game of the Year?
No.
Is it better than Battlefront 2? No. Is it better than Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor? No.
No.
But not everything has to be Game of the Year for it to be good.
Right. The story is enjoyable. The character is relatable.
Have you finished it?
I haven't finished it yet. I need to get back into it.
I need to know if you have done the Tatooine story part.
I haven't even gotten to Tatooine yet.
Okay. There is a point in that story where something happens to a certain animal companion. and I have never been more angry at an individual in my entire life.
You saying something happens to Nyx?
He's fine. He ends
Oh,
up being fine, but
still.
yeah.
Okay, so something happens to our good little good boy,
Yeah,
and you want to plot revenge on someone.
This creature is the cutest thing in Star Wars, and I stand by that he is
Oh,
cuter
Nyx
than
is
Grogu.
adorable. Nyx
He
is
is cuter than Grogu.
Yes, he's like the little puppy, alien puppy that we've all been wanting, and we got, and he's amazing. I love him.
Have you had a meal yet?
Yes. Oh my God, he's adorable. Eating with
I
him
loved
is amazing. I was like, this is adorable. Like, can we have more heartwarming like this in Star Wars?
Yeah, and like this is just a general like take I want to take to the fandom. Star Wars is not meant to be taken seriously.
No.
Like, it is not this groundbreaking philosophical world that makes us think about reality or doing that. The premise is, hey, we've got space wizards. Like,
It's a space opera, everyone.
yeah,
That's what
like
Star Wars is. It's an
George
opera.
George Lucas wanted to take like the serials like Flash Gordon or other things. Like, have y'all watched American Graffiti? That movie is ridiculous. Like, come on.
Have you watched Flash Gordon?
Exactly.
Like,
Like, this is meant
watch
to
that.
be this is meant to be in like a built up more version of like the style of the cartoon where they escape the villain and the villain's like the same kind of thing of I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you
Yeah.
darn kids or whatever. Like, stop taking it seriously. Like, it is not a serious franchise. It is not a serious. It is meant to be funny. It is meant to be like not make you like. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't take itself seriously.
No, it doesn't. It's just
Like,
all fun, entertainment, a world for us to enjoy that is not set in our reality.
and also like, did y'all really think Disney was going to let a GTA style Star Wars game go? Like, where we could just murder people across the galaxy?
Yeah. No.
Come on. Like, well, it is Disney. It's Disney, people.
Well, even before Disney, they didn't even do anything like that.
No, because they know that this is a late childhood, early teens targeted audience that they're going to. We just are kids in adult skin. Like, this is what has happened.
We're
I don't know,
children at
that's my-
heart. Anyway,
That's my soapbox on
that's your
Outlaws.
soapbox
Like,
Okay. That's fair. Hey, and the 2 expansions, they did confirm what the stories will entail. The first one, you are with Lando. It's going to be Sabacc based. They did confirm that it's going to be based on Sabacc. By the way, Sabacc's not hard. I played a lot of Sabacc so far in Outlaws, and it's actually fun.
Here is my thing that this came up to me because I was really bad at Sabacc for a while because I thought you wanted the lowest like possible combination, but I didn't. I missed the part in that like pairs beat everything. So
Yes.
like
you want to pair everything.
Right.
You want to
And
have 0.
And there are a lot of cheats that you get throughout the game that make Sabacc so much easier.
Yeah.
And there can be one that I found really, really clutch is once you find the shift token that inverts Sabacc rolls.
Ooh.
And there's also one that lets you discard. It lets you pick a player to discard their hand. And
Oh,
so
wow.
like in like the start of round 3, I will use the Nyx cheat to see who has the best hand. If anyone has a better hand than me, then I'll use the shift token and make them discard it. You okay there?
Yeah, my dog's being weird. But yeah, I mean, Sabacc's fun. And then the second expansion, they confirmed it's going to be based on pirate stuff, dealing with a lot more space combat, they did say. They're going to be doing a lot more space stuff, dealing specifically with Hondo Ohnaka.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm dead serious. The second expansion is Hondo is going to be one of the characters that we will be dealing with.
I will tell this, and I don't really want to. Well, I guess I'm gonna spoil this. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Galaxy's Edge and you have not been yet,
To Smuggler's Run?
yes,
Yeah.
that made me so happy when I was going down through the Smuggler's Run and I heard Hondo. I was like, this is awesome. And then I got to fly the Millennium Falcon and punch and go to hyperspace. Which this is such a small thing in Outlaws. The fact that we actually get to like control, like push the joysticks up or whatever to go to hyperspace, that is such a small thing, a small little bit of immersion that made space so much fun for me.
Yeah. Is there like it's great. When they said that Hondo is going to be one of the main characters in the second expansion, I immediately was like, "Yep." So don't care. I don't care how bad this game is. I get to be with Hondo Ohnaka. Don't care. I love that character. That character is amazing. I love.
How old is this man?
I don't. Well, this is
because I felt like he was old in Clone Wars.
He was old in Clone. He was old in Rebels, and this is like after Rebels, because this is Empire. This is between Empire and Return, and this is this is after Rebels.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to take being betrayed by Hondo Ohnaka.
Wow. Let's see. We'll see. I don't. Who knows? We might not get a true betrayal. Maybe he's softened up because of Ezra. That's the other thing. If he doesn't mention Obi-Wan or Ezra, I'll be sad.
Yes. If he doesn't betray us, I'll be disappointed. That's the Hondo experience. That's Hondo true. Experience is get involved and he charms you into helping him, and then he betrays you, and then he comes back and fixes it in the end.
I will say he is old because now that I think about it, he's on the Smuggler's Run, which takes place in the sequel trilogy.
Right, exactly. Like this man, he will not die.
How old is his? I'm curious how old his species lives to.
It's like comparable to humans, so a couple 150 years in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, I looked it up one time.
Wow, Well, he must be young in the Clone Wars then.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyway, well, let's get back into more Satele because we had a little bit of a tangent there. Anyway,
I just wanted to talk. The game has been out for 2 weeks. I know.
And yeah, Dojo Hondo Ohnaka he's your favorite pirate? Yes, I think he's everybody's favorite pirate in the Star Wars galaxy because when they made that character, it was great. But anyway, let's get back into more Satele.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection and apply to find out your welcome offer, which could be as high as 300,000 membership rewards points. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Welcome offers vary, and you may not be eligible for an offer. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
All right, we're back, and now we are in the Great Galactic War. So, returning to the Republic, the trio brought word from the Sith attack. Though the time the Jedi Council learned the news, the Empire already launched an invasion in the Minos cluster, an attack on Solus Van, and a blockaded the Rema trade route. The Council requested several debriefings of Shan, and the Padawan was even permitted to sit in one of the Council strategic discussions. She was present at the Jedi Temple when a contingent of Jedi, including the Keldor Nostroral, departed the capital planet of Coruscant for the occupied Minos cluster, and she witnessed the riots that broke out across Coruscant as a result. Shan then spent the next part of the war partnered with various Jedi Masters before she apprenticed to the Togruta Jedi Master Darnala, who helped her become a full-fledged Jedi Knight. A diplomat and politician strategist, Darnala helped to temper her students' aggression and impatience, and Shan became one of the Republic's most famous champions in the years to come. In 3671 BBY, Shan and Darnala was stationed at the temple when the news arrived at the Republic's victory at the Battle of Bothwalu, and her meditation was interrupted by intense cheering that echoed across the planet from the Senate Plaza. In 3667 BBY, Shan traveled to the core world of Alderaan and investigated rumors that one of the planet's royal houses was harboring Imperial spies. However, the Empire invaded Alderaan while she was there, and Shan raced to the royal palace in order to protect Queen Solara Pantir. Though the structure was in ruins by the time she got there, it was that when Shan had a vision showing that Jace Malcolm, whose unit Havoc Squad, was training injured troopers on Alderaan at the time and would need reinforcements. And now, Havoc Squad is the squad that your Republic Trooper can be in, that is in SWTOR. Your created character in the Republic Trooper class is part of Havoc Squad, which is part of Jace Malcolm's.
And you have a Havoc Squad companion as the Jedi Knight class.
Yes, as a Jedi Knight, you do have a Havoc Squad companion as well. Shan and Malcolm had worked together on previous missions, and the soldier who tried to pursue a relationship with her, though she refrained from doing so because of the Order's restrictions on attachments, sending word to the Jedi Council, Shan rushed to the Urin Mountains to aid them in guerrilla war against the Imperial forces marching on Castle Organa. The Imperials were led by Darth Malgus, the Sith who Shan had fought on Korriban 14 years earlier, and by the time she arrived, the members of Havoc Squad were fighting a losing battle against a disorganized but far larger Imperial force. Just as Malcolm was about to be executed by 3 Sith warriors, Shan leapt into the volley and landed behind 2, holding Malcolm, unleashing powerful telekinetic blast into the ground before killing the 3 disoriented Sith. Shan located Malgus nearby and drew her new saber staff as a challenge to her opponent. The Jedi then vaulted across the battlefield, destroying the Imperial war droid and eliminating 4 Sith in the process before engaging Malgus in a fierce duel. After a series of blows, Shan was forced on her knees as she tried to hold back Malgus's blade, though she reached out to the Force and brought down a nearby tree to grant herself a reprieve. Now, this is all in another cinematic trailer for the SWTOR game, which looks amazing, by the way. She stops the lightsaber with the Force, with her bare hands with the Force. It was awesome. The 2 then continue their duel atop of the fallen tree branch before Malgus threw her against another tree trunk with the Force, and Shan barely able to somersault over the Sith Lord's head before Malgus buried his lightsaber in the tree where she had been moments earlier. However, Malgus quickly spun and sliced her new saber staff in 2 before she could spin it and attack, and then immediately followed up with a stab directly to her chest. The Sith warrior's lightsaber energy was absorbed by Shan, who blocked the attack with her bare hands. Yeah,
and I think
great.
We've seen Jedi do that. Like, I think we've seen Jedi do that since then. Like, Vader has stopped lightsabers with their hand. And, like, I remember watching the Mortis arc in Clone Wars and, like, the father coming up and he just, like, waves.
He just grabs it. Yeah, he just grabs the saber. Mm-hmm. It's great. And, yes, Dojo, thank you. It's the SWTOR trailer, Hope. Thank you. Malgus' attack was interrupted when Malcolm charged the Sith Lord with a ferocious yell, catching him at the waist, engaging a short fist fight before revealing the primed thermal detonator in his hand. The explosion threw the commando backward out in the clearing, though a scarred Malgus was able to withstand most of the explosion with the Force, yet before the Sith Lord could pursue either Shan or Malcolm, Shan gathered the Force, likely from the energy previously absorbed through Tutamenius. She absorbed the energy and unleashed a powerful blast that sent Malgus flying into a nearby cliffside.
Okay, so I want to pause here because we have a lot of like recent Star Wars discussion about how lightsabers aren't killing people anymore. Which is fair. Like, I mean, I do think Qui-Gon is getting the dirty treatment of.
Yeah, I agree with that part.
But like we're watching Jedi shake off point blank grenade explosions, like Jedi and Sith doing that. And I think having someone with the Force shaking off a lightsaber stab wound in the gut, which regular people can survive stab wounds, even like head stab wounds, as long as you don't like sever the brainstem or hit anything like a vital artery or something like that. Like you
Yep.
can. So, and it's also worth noting that a lightsaber cauterizes immediately, which is
Yes.
what a lot of surgeons do when they go in, is they cauterize
Yep.
wounds. So
Yeah.
it's like, I do think that, like, yeah, let's talk about, like, Qui-Gon goes down to just a stab in the chest, and we watch, Sabine walk off from a stab in the chest. But like, it's not unplausible for that.
Yeah.
And like with
Well,
Malgus throwing off a grenade, it's also
because if I
plausible to me
recall, Sabine
that
got
Maul survives his whatever.
right. Sabine got stabbed on the side where there's not really any, if I recall, many vital organs. Where Qui-Gon was stabbed was right through like the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's Star Wars. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
It's Star
But
Wars.
I do want to say, like, the Force as an entity is a life force.
Yes.
So it is not like outside of the lore to be plausible that a Jedi or Sith could draw upon the Force to sustain injuries or sustain them through injuries.
Yeah, Sabine was in the side of the gut. Was it? Qui-Gon was dead center in the chest. Yeah, his would be near. Well, Qui-Gon then, if it's dead center in the chest, it would be somewhat near his heart.
Right. And it's possible that, like, if she's in the side of the gut, she's going to, like, bypass the brain or the spine and your lungs. But like,
Yeah.
if you think about the like center of your gut or your chest, like right where your rib cage stops, it's possible it's going through and like nicking part of blood flow to your heart, severing the spine, and
Right.
puncturing a
Yeah.
lung.
There'd be multiple things, and the same thing when it comes to, I think it was Reva, or was her name Reva in Obi-Wan?
Reva,
whatever. It was the same thing. It was like on the side of the gut where there's no like huge internal organs that would really cause major damage.
But also, we don't talk about this with Qui-Gon a lot because we don't. Maul full force hits him in the chin. With his hilt.
He took blunt force trauma to the head and then gets stabbed in the chest.
I mean, hitting you in the side of the temple with enough force will kill you instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, and
yes,
Sabine got and Code Dojo says in chat, also Sabine got immediate medical attention. That is also
true. Exactly. So that's there's my third soapbox.
There's the third one. Anyway, moving on. So the Sith Lord continued to fight against her power. As she pinned him against the cliff, that Shan gathered her strength into a second and more powerful blast that tore the entire cliff into pieces, which is awesome, by the way, if you could watch it. With her energy buried under tons of rubble, Shan joined and injured Malcolm as surveying the battlefield, and the commandos sent up a flare to signal victory, one of many that began the light the surface of Alderaan as the reinforcements Shan had requested arrived in the system. Malcolm was given Kolto treatments to deal with his injuries, and most prominent of which left him with a permanently scarred face. Shan visited him later after Republic forces were celebrating their victory and informed Malcolm of the vision that brought her to his aid. In response, to Malcolm's questions about Malgus, Shan confided in her belief that the Sith Lord had survived the battle. Malcolm then reminded Shan of his feelings for her, and her attempts to remind the soldier of her vows as a Jedi were not enough to suppress the feelings she had for him in return. Bum, bum, bum. It's like her grandmother. What? Her great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. How many greats
I
there
would
are?
like some, like, it would be really hilarious to me if, like, somewhere, like, in this genealogy or wherever that, like, Shmi Skywalker is, like, somehow related to the Revan Bastilla Shan family.
That would be
so like
cool.
so like the Skywalker family is just this long tradition of Jedi, like,
Who effed up the Star Wars universe?
yeah, or just even like we're like, yeah, we're Jedi, we have the code, but this person is really hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have the whole thing of, yeah, the Jedi Code doesn't really abide to this family for
Have you seen the
generations.
theory? Have you seen the theory that Qui-Gon is Anakin's father?
No, but that'd
Oh
be
my god. Okay.
really
That's
weird.
That's
That's
an
a
episode.
whole different episode
Yeah.
right there.
But those exist, and it's really interesting because everyone's like, there's so much sexual tension between Shmi and Qui-Gon, which I don't necessarily disagree with,
Yeah.
but
I guess. I never really thought of it that way. So succumbing to her emotions, she and Malcolm entered into a secret relationship, one that led her into becoming pregnant around 6 months after the Battle of Alderaan, not long after Malcolm had been promoted to the rank of general. In addition to working with Colonel Ellen Garza to develop the Secret Forces Division, Malcolm was conducting a campaign near the city of Gel Matar on a planet with Shan, and she decided to speak with him about his desire for vengeance against the Empire before informing him of her pregnancy. Bum, 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 bum. Their conversation revealed that Malcolm's hatred for the Empire was his driving force, and Shan was forced to confront the possibility that she would turn to the dark side if the Empire caused Malcolm's death. That fear, and the fear of the darkness within Malcolm's spirit, drove Shan to break off their relationship and make plans to give up their child, as she understood that having them in her life put the Republic at risk. For the next few months, Shan continued to serve on the front lines as one of the Republic's greatest heroes, inspiring the rank and file of the Republic military to the victory of the battlefields across the galaxy. However, as her pregnancy advanced and her Jedi robes were no longer able to conceal the signs, Shan went into her first master, Nagi, who told her of her pregnancy, told him of her pregnancy, but not of the father's name. Zhu did not question her story and immediately agreed to help, approaching the Jedi Council and the Republic military leaders with the story that had sent her on a vital and clandestine mission. Shan bore her son with Zhu's help with a planet far from the war, and Zhu took her child to raise on his own as per their agreement, but not before she named her son Theron. And yes, you do meet Theron Shan.
yeah,
You
he
do
plays
meet
a
him
big
again.
role,
He makes a huge role into the games.
especially in like, I don't remember if you meet him in. The only way to meet him in base game is through the one of the Republic storylines, right?
It's, I think, through one of the Flashpoint stuff,
Okay.
I believe.
Because then he comes in Shadow of Revan, and then he plays a role in the Eternal Empire expansion.
Yeah, he becomes one of your main companions through the later expansions.
Mm-hmm.
So then a year later, in 3665 BBY, Shan was assigned to the Republic Navy contingent tasked with protecting a fleet of prototype warships that were being gathered for an attack on the Imperial capital, Drum Kos. However, the fleet was ambushed in the Outer Rim territories by the Imperial Navy, sparking a week-long battle across several star systems before reaching its peak in the Hoth system. Hundreds of vessels on both sides of met their end during the conflict, and Shan was aboard one of the few Republic ships that escaped the destruction. Because, she's a Shan. In 3661 BBY, Shan was recalled to Coruscant when the Mandalorians, a culture of warrior nomads, began a blockade of the Hydaelyn Way trade route. Shan witnessed the riots and broke out across the capital in response to the supply shortage caused by the blockade, and she was dismayed to see the turmoil only worsen after the Jedi failed to break the blockade near Deravon. As the war neared the end of the third decade, Shan joined Jarek Kaden, Bella Kiweeks, and Solo Barkin, a former apprentice of Nagi, who liked herself, in leading the men of the 45th Battalion and other Republic troopers in a counterattack on the icy planet of Renvar. Between the four of them, the Jedi had fought previously on battlefields such as the conflict of Gelpog the Tyrant and a battle on the ash plains of Lenko IV, and the four led the Republic forces in a charge that brought them within the reach of the fortress of Darth Mekis, a member of the Empire's Dark Council. Oh, yeah, there's still some more. Breaking open the door of Mekis' chamber with the Force, she asked the Sith Lord to surrender and offer protection in exchange. However, Mekis refused, and the two began a fierce duel that resulted in Mekis being grievously injured before she escaped. Go figure. Not long after the Battle of Renvar, the Empire approached the Republic with a surprising offer of peace in 3653 BBY. As a gesture of good faith, the Empire withdrew its forces from the Minos cluster, and the Galactic Senate agreed to peace negotiations on Alderaan. A Republican delegation led by Siren Senator Perrin Amariz traveled to Alderaan, accompanied by several Jedi, Shan, Darnala, and Silo Barkin, and Aaron Lanier. Shan spent the first morning of the meditation, though her efforts were not enough to conceal the tension she felt at the conference, and she confided in her former teacher that she believed there was something more than the meeting than the council believed. At that time, go on.
This scene takes place in the Deceived novel.
Yes.
Who she is not a point of view character in the Deceived novel. I don't actually think she's a point of view character in any of the
no, she's
Old
not in
Republic
any of the
novels.
No. Now, Aaron Lanier, yes.
Yes, she's one of the. I think you have 2 points of view in Deceived, Malgus and Aaron.
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember this scene and like being like, oh, there's Satele, and
which is funny because Aaron doesn't show up at all in SWTOR until the newest expansion stuff they've been doing with the Legacy of the Sith. She was never in the game until Legacy of the Sith because of the return of Malgus.
I need to get in and play that because I really liked her story, and I was a little upset that you never got any kind of closure because it just kind of ends with Malgus leaving and Aaron going off or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. And she comes back in Legacy of the Sith, and I was like, oh, you're still around. Okay. And she was recruited because of her, connection to Malgus specifically, because they've had a history. So,
right. Which makes sense. Like, and this, we're not going to talk about this, but like, Satele and Aaron have a bond because Malgus kills both of their masters.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
And Aaron's master is the one that is in the Deceived, trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer
at the
for
Jedi
SWTOR.
Temple. Yeah,
at the Jedi Temple. That is her master.
Yep, the human male that we see Malgus facing in that trailer is her master.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're unfamiliar with that one, that's the one where the cruiser crashes into the Republic or to the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, it's where we see a bunch of red lightsabers light up and a bunch of green and blue ones light up and fighting each other. Yeah, a lot happens in that trailer. So at that moment, Shan's suspicions were being proven correct. An Imperial fleet under the command of Darth Angle was approaching Coruscant and began attacking the Republic capital. The moment that Darth Malgus and his strike force brought down the planet's defense grid within the Jedi Temple, which is that trailer, Supreme Chancellor Bekrokin contacted Amris and attempted to warn him of the Sith's treachery, but the entire conference room was forced to watch as Inkrul stormed the Chancellor's office and executed the Mon Calamari. Yeah. Realizing the Sith had resorted to treachery, Shan drew her saber and charged the Empire's embassy. Darth Barris, who is another important character in SWTOR, Barris blocked her strike with his own blade and cautioned her to restrain herself before explaining to Amariz that the peace talks would proceed as planned. Only the Republic would have to agree to the Empire's terms, while the Imperials held their capital hostage. At Darnala's urging, Shan reluctantly disengaged and exiled the room with the rest of the Republic delegation, only to find Lanier embroiled in a fight with the 2 Sith members of the Empire delegation who had been waiting outside. Darnala's voice quickly brought the fight to a halt, but Shan was barely able to stop Amariz from attacking Barris when the Sith Lord goaded the Republic delegates with reminders that they were there to discuss peace. After departing the hall, Darnella took command of the group and ordered Shan to set up a secure link communication to Grandmaster Zim, who's waiting for the Grandmaster to answer wondering if he was still alive. The group has discussed the unknown situation on Coruscant, and the Linear revealed that her empathic bond with her master, Venzalo, had caused her to sense Zalo's death during the attack on the temple. Later that night, Zim informed Darnella and Imriz the Republic had no choice to accept Barris's terms until the Coruscant was freed, and was also warned Darnella and Shan to apologize to Barris if the negotiations were to proceed. Despite Darnella's feelings on the matter, she compelled that with Grandmaster's request, and Shan begrudgingly apologized to the Sith Lord the following day.
Also, Master Zalo is T7's first master.
Yes.
If you've played the Jedi Knights story.
Darth Barris is your master as a Jedi or as a Sith warrior in the SWTOR class storyline.
Yeah, so and that's one of the cool things about SWTOR and like the novels that surround all of these.
The novels, the trailers, and everything, it's all connected.
Yeah, they all show up. Because I remember of like playing this game and starting and being like, wait a minute, like I thought we were going to be able to like play as like we're going to start on this, like the Sith are attacking. Oh, we're in this like Cold War, like what's going on?
It's go play SWTOR.
And we haven't even gotten to the events of the game yet with Satele.
No, and then with the show notes, we're gonna go up to the events of KOTOR or SWTOR, because she does a lot in SWTOR.
Well, she's not Grandmaster yet.
She's not Grandmaster yet. No, she becomes Grandmaster during the events of SWTOR. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot happens. A lot happens with her, and especially in the expansions too.
Well, we have kind of exhausted our time, especially with our little detour into Outlaws and other stuff like that. And how can you survive a lightsaber stab to the gut? And our consensus is, with our help of Kadojo, to have it stab the side of your gut and get immediate medical attention.
Yes. Yep, pretty much.
Also, not having blunt force trauma to the head also helps.
Also facts. Yeah. And Dojo did also say in chat that Qui-Gon was left alone for like several minutes.
Yes.
So, taking blunt force trauma to the head, taking a stab right through the chest where, your lungs and your rib cage and your spine and your heart would be. Yeah, I can see why. It's also Star Wars. It's fictional.
Exactly. Stop taking it seriously. And that's not to say like you can't find meaning in Star Wars, because there absolutely
not.
Is
There's total meaning
like,
in Star Wars, and you can relate to the characters and emphasize and everything with this series, but it's fictional.
It's
a space opera, everyone.
It's a space opera. Like, it's meant to be over the top. It's meant to be dramatic. It's meant to be even a little bit basic. Like, it is meant like he wanted to make a story about good fighting evil and good winning. Like, that's what George Lucas wanted.
Yep.
It is this very, very silly, very basic level story that is meant to be fun.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, that's what I have for part 1 of Satele Shan. I will let everybody know our patron chat is coming up in 2 weeks. So I know Dojo is in chat. Our patron chat is on the 24th here in 2 weeks. So if you want to join us on the patron chat, go to patreon.com/holocronhistories to become a Jedi Master or Darth, where you can join us on the show.
Yeah. Definitely do that and come hang out with us and talk on the show. It'll be a great, great time. But thanks, Ben, for bringing all this together. Thanks, everyone in chat. Thanks for listening to the Holocron Histories podcast. I'm going to say it again because it just was bad. Thank you for listening to the Holocron Histories podcast. We'll see you next time.
And may the Force be with you. Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, and even at the Cups Podcast and More Discord. You can find us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories, and even email us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.
Stitch Fix. Stop shopping. Get styled.
Not today, sweatpants. Somebody's wearing jeans that fit.
Wow! No photos, please. I'm just a regular dad who happens to have a stylist.
I really look my best when someone else makes the decisions.
Hey, we can all see you two-way mirrors.
Just share your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. Stitch Fix. Get started today at StitchFix.com.
I want to hug you. I'm going to hug you. I'm coming in for a hug.